Beyond the narrative. Beyond the narrative.
Best in class, so pray for my peers. Slingshot bullet that's clear. Your weak shots couldn't pierce through bulletproof ears. A martyr, a menace. I'm leading horses to drink and pulling teeth like I'm feeding the dentist.
Beyond the narrative.
Thank you for watching our show. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to stay up to date with all of our content. Welcome to the first live episode of The Crossover. Today's episode is brought to you by BTN Connect, powered by Athlete Narrative, the one-in-one recruiting platform helping athletes get seen, get signed, and get to the next level. Gentlemen, it's our first live.
Yes, sir.
Great to be
Let's
here.
go, man.
Yeah, trying to stay relevant with the topics as we go through here. So let's get right into it. Pacers last night just completely dominated. They scored 80 points in the first half, up by 41. I did not see this coming. I took the Cavs, which I've been on the Pacers, but I decided to go with the Cavs last night. They were minus 5.5, and they got completely blown to smithereens.
Yeah, man. It was a blitzkrieg from the start. One thing about the Pacers, man, they play hard, they play together, they play with pace. And after losing the previous game, I think they came with the right mindset, the right mentality. And a lot of times, like, if you don't match somebody's intensity, physicality, and focus, you can get blown out, and the game could be over in the first half. Now, to add insult to injury, Donovan Mitchell, who was averaging 41 during this series, got hurt, right? And he's getting MRI, I think, today. And so, like, yeah, man, it's not looking good for the Cavs, man.
Yeah, they were saying it was an ankle injury, but now reports are coming out that it looks like it's a leg injury. It could be a calf. This show is brought to you by BTN Connect, powered by Athlete Narrative. Parents, you're probably spending thousands and thousands of dollars trying to get your kid recruited and going nowhere fast. But with this app for $15 a month, solves all the headaches that you're going through. And this app is backed by AI, which saves you a ton of time, and you don't have to write manually and trying to track these coaches down. Be sure to hit the link in our description or in our bio. Sign up now. A more serious type injury is having an MRI today.
Yeah.
So,
and it's a quick turnaround, man.
Yeah.
It's looking bad for them. They had a great season.
yeah, Nev.
I think it's over for Cleveland. Their energy looks horrible. I think Indiana came in and really set the tone first game of the series, for real. I didn't see them winning. I don't think anyone really did. And to steal 2 in Cleveland, you know, I was shocked that Cleveland came back and blasted them in game 3, but yesterday, blitzkrieg.
Yeah.
Perfect word.
So there's one word I think about when I look at the Indiana Pacers play basketball is balanced. They're balanced 1 through 5 and with their bench.
Yeah.
They can shoot. A lot of them can get into double-digit scoring. How do you see them? They're more than likely going to move on in this series. How do you see them shaking out in the Eastern Conference Finals, and do they have a potential of reaching the finals?
They do. I mean, they got a good team. They made the conference finals last season, so they've been there before. I think they have a little bit more depth this year. Their bench is a little deeper. The guys have more experience. I think they're more battle-tested now. So they're definitely a very, very good team, right? But I still don't believe that they'll beat the Celtics. I think ultimately
So you think the Celtics are still
I
going to
still think the Celtics, look, they've balanced it out. They've recaptured home court advantage. I just think that at some point the basketball gods will reward the way that they play, and they'll shoot it at their percentages. So I still like the Celtics coming out of the East.
Okay, we'll get to the Celtics eventually in that Knicks game tonight. I think a little bit different on that game.
I know you do. I know you do.
Anything else on the Pacers?
I think my response to that question is if the Knicks should advance, Indiana certainly can go to the finals.
Facts.
Agreed.
If
It's possible.
Boston does, I don't think Indiana will be Boston.
Right.
It's Indiana's certainly cheering for the Knicks.
Agreed. All right, Thunders versus Nuggets. The Thunders are tied the series 2-2.
Yeah.
That line came out, and I saw Denver getting 7, and they had a shot in that game in the fourth quarter to pull away, and they didn't. And OKC just came back, and SGA is just unbelievable.
Yeah, man.
He's just unreal to watch. Man, the confidence that kid plays with. But a lot of talk in the media is that Jokic is tired. He's exhausted.
Yeah, I mean, he's earned it. He's put in a lot of work. He's played at a high level, not only throughout the season, but also like in the summertime, right? Playing in the Olympics, that wears you down, playing for your home team, traveling. He hadn't really had a whole bunch of time to recover. And the team, they need so much for him from him. Excuse me. He rebounds the basketball. He's leading the team in assists, scoring, in every statistical category. And so if he's not like doing that every night, where are they going to get those points from? Usually they do it by committee, but on a night where like Russell Westbrook goes like 2 for 12 and doesn't have that, he's not that spark plug offensively off the bench. He played a great game defensively. And then Michael Porter Jr., who I always believe is their X factor, if he goes 1 for 7, 1 for 8, I think you have a hard time winning, especially with Joker kind of wearing down. And you got to tip your hat to Oklahoma City because they can play so many different styles. Hardestein has done a great job on Joker. I think he shot under 40% 3 games in this series, and that's a guy who historically has shot over 50%.
Jokic is not playing to how he played this season, his potential, I think.
The game slows down.
Yep.
It's the playoffs, and at the end of the day, you're going to get max effort from everybody. The refs are allowing, physicality to happen, and so they are leaning on them. They are bumping them. And then on the defensive end, he's got a guard, right? He's closing out on Chet, right? Anytime Hardestein gets the ball, he's starting the pick and roll or the DHO, and so it's constant movement, so he doesn't really get any breaks.
Right. Nev?
I loved Hartenstein as an addition from the Knicks in the offseason.
Yeah, he called.
I thought they really. I just love what OKC's doing.
Yeah,
man, I just love what they're doing. Sam Presti, man, that guy's he's legendary.
Yeah,
in his status.
You think Hartenstein's an upgrade from Steven Adams?
Yes, right now I think he's more in his prime.
Yeah.
Right? I think he's more athletic. I think he can play with more pace, which allows their team to kind of
play with more pace.
And he's also
very
able to
athletic,
switch out on defenders as well, so he can play.
Good cog.
Yeah.
Good cog to fit out that
man.
nucleus, man.
Right.
Like really it's not, you can't have just all 5 alpha scoring machines.
Yeah, man.
You need guys that do what they do.
Right.
He's a master at his
Ben
role.
Wallace, right.
Right.
You know what I mean? Type guys like that. Like they don't need to score a point. They affect the
Facts.
game and hand it and hold it down. Yeah, I really, honestly, I'm cheering for OKC.
Yeah.
They're my team
Listen, man,
to win.
when they're hitting on all cylinders, tough.
Yeah.
Tough.
And
the only team that can keep up shooting with them is the Celtics when they're on.
Well, here's the thing. Like last night, they didn't shoot lights out.
They
I
didn't.
think in
I
their
know.
starting lineup, they were like 2 for 23
Yeah.
from the 3-point line with that starting lineup. So what that shows me is that this team can play multiple styles and they can win ugly games.
Yeah, I think the over-under in that, it was in the mid-220s. It didn't hit that.
And by the way, OKC's this is no one-hit wonder. They're set for like the next 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're built to last.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So the lottery is tonight. There's a lot of talk of who's going to get that first pick. Cooper Flagg seems like he's going to be the first pick of the draft. The question I have for you, KD, does that first pick get traded for Giannis?
Possibly. Depending on who gets that first pick. Obviously, like the better you are as a player, the higher talent you are, the worse, the worse your team, will be that you go to. So I'm hoping that there's like a sleeper or a surprise person who gets the number 1 pick where he can go to a better team. You just don't want to see him go to a team that's so bad that he can't really develop and thrive and grow as a player. So I'm hoping like the Spurs get the number 1 pick. Now, would you package that up to get Giannis? I don't know. I mean, I think Cooper Flagg is going to be a multiple-time All-Star. I think he'll be around for a long time. But, San Antonio has draft capital as well. Brian Wright has positioned him very well.
So is Oklahoma City. They're talking about Oklahoma City being in the mix.
Yeah, well, we shall see.
Yeah.
We shall see. It should be fun.
You're looking at 2 teams like we were talking before we came on. Like if you're buying stock, you're buying San Antonio Spur stock and you're buying OKC stock.
Right.
Yeah. Those 2 teams they're loaded with young. Well, OKC's there now, and they still got assets.
Right.
To add. Man, 2 teams that are going to be a real problem for the rest of the league.
Oklahoma City has 7 first-round picks the next 2 years.
Wow.
I mean, talk about the job Sam Presti's done with that organization and putting them in position to have that type of capital.
Unbelievable. I think, if you ask around the league, I would say that most people would consider him the best. And he's willing to, sacrifice like immediate gratification, you know what I mean, to like plan for the future. and he's positioned it so well. I think he's outdone everyone in the last 10, 15 years
my God.
as a general manager. And guess what? He's a Pop disciple.
Listen, great point, KD. Great point. And think about what they lost. They lost Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden. Like, you would think they're going to abandon that franchise. Except now they're the franchise.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, this guy just flipped the script, man.
Yeah.
And, like,
He's Danny
I
Ainge,
love it.
Danny Ainge 2.0.
Yeah,
because Danny
man.
did that
And-
with the Celtics and how this roster's built.
And like, when the 76ers were talking about trust the process, this is what they meant
Right.
Yeah.
right
Right.
here.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's potentially could be 10 first-round picks
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
He's playing chess
Yeah.
with the rest of the league.
in a small market.
In a small market.
It's incredible. It's
Perfect
incredible
fit.
what he's done. Yeah.
Perfect fit for that.
Yeah,
that city.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
San Antonio doesn't fall too far behind either.
Yeah.
Look at how they're set up to be able to make a run. They can possibly get the first pick. I mean, they got 2 picks in the top 10 this upcoming lottery pick. So, Nevin, I know you're high on the Spurs.
Big. I just love what they and I told you 2 weeks ago, I thought that's where Giannis would end up. Still could happen, and I just there's just something about that franchise, man. You know, it's the Pop effect.
Yeah.
You know, like they just do things right, and yeah, you know, listen, you can't stay on top forever, and they had to, you know, Kawhi went on, Tim Duncan, everyone moves on, people get older, and this and that. But man, I love what they're about to do.
Yeah.
I'm just high. I just see it. I see it brewing.
I mean, they got 4 first-round picks in the next 2 drafts. I mean,
Yeah,
they're
man.
set up as well.
Absolutely. I mean, look, Brian Wright has done a fantastic job over there. I was with him when he was a young pup in Orlando. And I'm telling you, it's something about that Spurs organization where they get this talent and they cultivate them and they develop them. And they figure it out. They have a culture. We always talk about the Heat culture, but the Spurs culture is probably just as influential, if not more influential, than the Heat culture in the NBA.
Yeah.
Speaking about the Heat, did you guys see Pat Riley's interview?
Yeah, I saw.
What'd you think?
Man,
Thoughts?
my first thought is that Pat is still sharp.
Yeah,
And
that's what I thought too.
He's very sharp. He's very still. You can still see that he's competitive, you know, and you can still see the confidence that he has. And so yeah, I always like hearing Coach Riley talk.
Loved it. He's going to
Pat.
tell you when he's done. You're not going to tell him.
Yeah, I agree. And, you know,
Don't you see what I'm wearing?
Yeah, that's right.
I think he's going to come to the realization he's going to have to loosen it up a little bit.
Well, he has.
He has. I know he
Compared to
has.
how it used to be?
but he's going to have to loosen it up a little bit more.
Listen, winning cures all. I think he's got to assemble. He's got to get enough talent, you know, to have that mystique.
Right,
They just don't have the talent
They
right
don't
now
have
on
it.
the roster.
Don't have it. Now, let me ask you a question. You think they have enough to get a Giannis?
I don't think so.
I don't think so
there's
either.
going to be other teams that have more that they can package, more draft capital, more veteran talent. You know, I don't think the Heat has enough on that roster to get them.
Yeah.
Unless they just, unless Giannis just kind of says that, hey, this is where I want to go. I think they'll try and, accommodate him.
Yeah, and Giannis has come out now and said, he's open to the possibility of being traded. Where do you think he's at mentally?
You know what? It's probably a very vulnerable time because, every year that passes, you get a year further away from your prime. And these are some of his prime years. And he's always in the, conversation for MVP. Every time he's on the court, you think you have an opportunity to win. But unfortunately, Dame has been hurt. You know what I mean? Middleton has gone on. Drew Holiday, they let him get out, to the Celtics. And so, he's kind of the lone wolf. And it gets, it gets redundant.
He's in such a position to go on a run because these teams that have the capital,
Yeah.
the Spurs, Oklahoma City, I don't put Miami there. I think if he comes here to Miami, it's a crapshoot. Who are you going to put around him, right? Tyler Hero, Bam, and
Yeah.
him. Is that enough
Yeah.
to get you out of the East?
Yeah.
I don't know. You're the expert here. Do you think that's enough?
No, because I think you'll lose. Yeah, I don't think that
I don't think
he
he's
don't
enough.
have. They don't have the talent.
Yeah.
not to get him.
If Giannis ends up at either OKC or San Antonio,
Houston's a sleeper.
Think about
Houston.
And Houston's
another
a
team.
sleeper.
That's
And
They got a lot of young talent.
another great call.
Yeah.
And there's some other teams also. Detroit on their way up. Man, there's some good young teams, man.
You know, and I'm going to take back something I said on this show. Basketball has a lot of talent right now.
It does.
It's incredible the talent they have, and that's coming up. I think the game's going to be okay.
You know why I think you believe that?
Yeah.
Because you're starting to see some of the remnants of the 90s and the
Yes.
physicality.
Yes.
So now you're seeing not only the talent, you're seeing the toughness. And and those are traits that we can appreciate.
I believe I believe right now, and I'm speaking for me personally, I got really turned off by the NBA for a number of years. And it's just become saturation. Maybe, and I'm no knock on LeBron, but the saturation, the same face.
Right,
the same
right,
face,
right,
the same
right.
face.
Right.
And I think now you're starting to see the league redefine its brand. And I've gotten more into it personally, which is saying something because I really haven't been paying attention to the NBA in recent years, even though I know what's going on. But now I'm starting to see a lot of young dogs, man. It's really good to watch.
Absolutely.
It's a changing of the guard.
It's refreshing.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's time.
Last night watching that Pacers game, they're up 30-something, 40, and I think it was Darius Garland that went up for a layup. They knocked his ass out.
That's playoff basketball.
They didn't care.
Love it.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah, that's playoff
Great.
basketball.
That's how it should be, man.
That's how it should be. That's how it was in the 90s.
Well, KD shouted out
80s.
the refs. He gave a shout out to the refs last episode we did, and you know what? Spot on. Good call, and that's what's going on, man. They're letting he's letting these dudes play, man.
Do you think why the shift with the refereeing? Do you think KD did they get a call from the commissioner telling them to loosen it up a little bit? Why do you think?
Well, they get critiqued after every game,
Right.
Right. There's a report on missed calls, etc. Whatever they did, they get critiqued on. But I just think that the refs understand that the moments are bigger. I believe that the refs were tired of calling all the tic-tac fouls and all that shit. I think they just wanted to see some real basketball. Right. So I don't think they got a call from, the higher ups. I just think that, human nature kind of took over for the refs, and they letting the guys hoop.
So speaking about the refs, Draymond fouls out, and Golden State is basically down 8 at that time. 17 seconds left. They call a timeout. They hit a 3. They get a rebound, hit a 3. There's 5 seconds left. But Draymond's walking to the bench saying, hey, you know what these guys are doing. It's 5.5, we're plus 5.5. And there's a lot of talk that there might be an investigation into that. What are your thoughts on a player speaking about the spread? And by the way, the Warriors lost by 5.
Yeah.
And didn't foul with 5 seconds left.
So Draymond talked big shit. That's what he's known for doing. At the end of the day, he backs it up as well. I don't know if that was a shot at the refs, like, maybe they're trying to cheat us, you know what I mean? But when you're frustrated, you're in those moments like that, you might say something slick, you might say something sarcastic. Just for me, man, anytime you talk about gambling or anything like that in the game, around the game, it's a no-no.
So let me ask you this. When you were playing in the NBA, were you looking at the spreads?
No, I wasn't. But gambling wasn't a big deal back then, right? You wasn't getting random people DMing you about their parlay. You wasn't getting, random people walking up to you like,
Nevin
hey,
wasn't DMing you?
Hey, is anybody hurt? Anybody hurt?
Nevin wasn't reaching out?
No, Nev wasn't, So it wasn't a big deal, in my opinion, back in those days.
Right.
But, it's in their face. It's on their phone. It's on the TV. It's on podcasts. It's everywhere you look. So I think they're more aware of it now. And then the fans let them know every time. Every chance they get, they're going to let you know, hey, you feeling good tonight?
Right.
You think you're going to go
Right.
over 20 tonight? So it's a real thing that they have to deal with that we didn't have to.
Yeah, Nev.
Uh-oh.
Chime in?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
You're not sending text messages to see...
Feds listening.
I don't really have 7 people. I don't think they're all feds.
We're actually getting some information here.
What's up?
NBC just hired Michael Jordan as a special contributor to their NBA coverage beginning next season.
How about that?
That is news.
Because he saw the Tom Brady contract.
Yeah, probably.
How about that? That's awesome.
Yeah, that very out of character for MJ. Doesn't like being the public eye. And I know people that are very close to him, and very, very close to him, and he's not about that. I'm shocked to hear that. To be honest,
but it's good in my opinion. You know, like Mike has done such a great job of being a champion of the game. The game grew on his watch. We still all idolize him and put him on a pedestal. So to hear his commentary about the game, I think it'll be cool. I don't think we've gotten to know Michael Jordan's personality outside of just when he was hooping.
He's never been on a podcast.
Yeah, he's always kind of played the background. A lot of his charity work and philanthropy that he does, he kind of does it very quiet. So to see him, I'm interested to see him because I know he's gonna have some strong criticism and critiques of the game. But he's always been really good with the media. He's always been articulate, funny, witty, all those different things. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing a different side of him. Maybe have a stogie up there in his golf clubs with him as well.
Who doesn't want to be like Mike?
Right.
Best, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Best ever.
Yeah, exactly.
Best, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, I can't wait to see it and think about the eyes he's going to get on him.
Yeah, man.
He's
It'll
doing
be fun.
it.
He's number one greatest of all time, but in my heart, Dr. J is because
Right.
that's who I loved and idolized as an athlete. But man, Mike's the greatest
Yeah.
of all time.
It'd be cool. It'd be fun to see.
I won't even put on shoes that don't rep.
I've been trying it, so I know people that have in the circle, whatever, they go to his golf club, this, that, and the other. And I mentioned, hey, do you think, I just throw it out there. I know it's a hard no, but would he cover the podcast? And they look at me like, we can't even ask him, dude. We can't even take a picture of that fucking place.
Yeah.
If you put together a poker game, you got a shot.
Yeah. I ain't got that type of cash, my man. Unless you do.
Yeah, what?
All right, big shout out to the Florida Panthers. They come back.
Yes, sir.
They're 2-2. They're alive and well. We're not much hockey guys here, but you can appreciate when you watch a good game and a lot of physicality. And they came to play. They almost lost game 3. They won it in overtime. So it looks like, they're back on track.
We're South Florida guys, and we want to see our guys do well, and we're going to talk shit about them. Whether we know a lot about hockey or not, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We're talking shit. They win the champs.
Especially a team from Canada.
You know what I mean?
Oh, God.
Please.
Facts.
Yeah. Anyways, final reminder from our boy Petey that fills in for me. Fuck the Leaves and go Cats. Let's go. We're
Big
out.
Cats.
All
Big
right.
Cats.
Yo.
Be on the narrative. Be on the narrative.
Best in class, so pray for my peers. Slingshot bullet, it's clear. Your weak shots couldn't pierce through bulletproof ears. A martyr, a menace. I'm leading horses to drink and pulling teeth like I'm feeding the dentist.